as to when it actually shows that I've started streaming and when I've actually started streaming, because PlayStation doesn't seem to be super honest about all of that. But hi everybody, my name is Stockbot, and if you're watching the VOD, hello, and you're probably the only one seeing this because no one's joined in yet. But today, and I will mention this multiple times because I don't want to leave anybody out that happens to join later on, but today we are going to be streaming about the cutest of dreams that we could possibly find, meaning that I could possibly find. But as always, I'm absolutely open to suggestions, so anybody that does come on and decides to, well, let's say, send suggestions, whether via the comments or Twitter or anything like that, yeah, just let me know. I'm totally open to suggestions, but like I said before, we are focused on the cutest of dreams that we can find. And so I'm not really sure what terms I'm going to use for this, but in general, I'm going to be probably playing some platformers today, and I would imagine that there's a lot of cute puzzle games out there as well, but I'm not really sure how we're going to do this, because for one, normally I will go through filter tags and kind of look through. I guess we can start with platformers. We'll start there, because I think that's always a good like warm-up for a Dreams session. And then from there, we can move on to some puzzle games and see if there's any cute puzzle games going on, because obviously... oh wait, what is this? Let's just use the tag. So we'll use the tag for platform, and then we'll do games? We'll do some single-player games. I'm sure there's more than this, but for now, let's hit this autosurf. Now, in general, I'm going to try to skip things that are too gritty or not really cute, because this is supposed to be a cheery stream, and I'm doing my best. Hello! Oh god, you are the last survivor. See, that name means a lot more these days, given everything that's going on with the world. But, in terms of first games, I'm pretty happy so far. But I do hope everyone's doing well, and hopefully he's not about to get killed, because that would be sad. But I do hope everyone's doing well, given all the craziness going on right now. I'll let this cutscene play. That looks like a Rose Quartz's gem from Steven Universe, doesn't it? I do highly expect, by the way, that some of the dreams that we run into today will seem cute and end up being terrifying, because that's normally what happens on this channel. Super Speed Ruby, interesting. So yeah, I guess first up we're doing Sloth World. Aw, that's cute. See, good first dream. We'll actually see if there are that many cute platformers. I know of a few that I might bring in, but I've played them before, and I tend to only play stuff I haven't played before on this channel, unless I'm going to, aw, man chicken turtle, unless I'm going to actually showcase something that I wanted to on a stream. But so far, I haven't really done that much, so mostly new dreams. Let's see how this goes. I love that intro. And as with every platformer... Okay, good, I can't jump off the edge. Interesting. So it's a platformer, but, like, there's absolutely no... Oh, okay, so it's a 3D platformer, but there's very little jump involved. That's interesting. This reminds me a lot of Captain Toad, which I've only played the versions in... What was it? In Super Mario 3D World, I think is what had the Captain Toad moments in it. But this does remind me a lot of that. So let's see, climb, throw. Oh, I can climb. Interact, square, jump, fin. What's fin? Well, I don't know, but this looks like a gem, doesn't it? I guess we're gonna find out. Find 2, that's the clue. Interesting. Please play Sans Commits Tax Fraud. How? Okay. First of all, sure. Second of all, how is that cute? I asked for cute dreams, and the first suggestion is Sans Commits Tax Fraud. If this is cute, you gotta imagine that it's gonna be a weird kind of cute. But my first instinct when it comes to any sort of puzzle game, which is what this seems more like a puzzle than a necessarily platform, because it's, well, there's jumping involved, which makes it more platform than Captain Toad, I guess. But other than that, I don't know. So, like, this is just a light, right? I think that's what we're getting at. And I can climb by holding L1? Can I? Where? Oh, there we go. Okay. How Sans isn't cute? I don't know what Sans is. You mean Comic Sans? Because Comic Sans, like, used to be cute, but now it's kind of like the Satan's font. No offense to any Satanists out there. Oh, cool! Look at this level select screen. This is really well put together. I'm sure I've just missed this, and this is something that other streamers have already played, but hopefully we can condense as many cute things into one stream as possible. So far, I'm very much enjoying it. But yeah, I noticed that I haven't really talked a whole lot about what's been going on in the world right now on my channel, and initially it was my intention to not really talk about it, because YouTube should be a place for people to escape. But I think that I'm a little bit worried that that may imply that I am not worried about it, or I'm not thinking about it, which absolutely I am. And oh, that's interesting. So okay, pause for a second. This is an interesting way to do climbing ladders. So for reference, if you didn't do it like this, you would have to create a more advanced animation for climbing like that in create mode, because if you didn't, like doing it like this basically doesn't stop climbing until you let go of L1, and he just raises continuously upwards. Whereas if you were to create a manual climbing where the player holds up or down, you'd have to create a few more animations, and actually probably significantly more animations than just a simple hold L1 to climb. But I'm not mad about it. I'm a little bit worried that, kind of like Captain Toad was maybe a little too simple at times, I'm worried that this may run into that, and if you have been here before, you will notice that, for the most part, dreams that I start, it's more just here's a showcase of what's going on right now for anybody that may or may not be able to experience dreams at the time. But I know there are a lot of people that actually don't have the game and have just been watching streams of it, so hopefully if you are that in that situation, you can enjoy this, and maybe even convince yourself to get it for real. Is that... See, what I'm not crazy about is there's all these gems all over the place, but it doesn't seem like there's any indication of what we're trying to find when you find it, which is a little bit disappointing because, well, one of the basic things of game design that I think of is, well, you should show the player where they're supposed to go, with the exception of puzzle games. And this is a puzzle game, and you should have to search for things. But in general, that's kind of why I like games like Resident Evil. The puzzles are mandatory, but the hide and find is very much optional. Let me see. On a purple block. Thank you. That's very descriptive as to which purple block. Sorry, if you are watching the VOD and aren't watching the chat right now, someone just said, correction. The Last Survivor just mentioned that I left one gem on a purple block somewhere, which is... That is funny. I appreciate this ask, and I did ask for it in the title or description of this video, one of the two. Let's see if we can find it. I mean the shiny ones. The shiny purple blocks. This is going to turn into chat being better at the puzzle games that I'm playing than I am, and I think that's hilarious. But I also see these Call of Duty streamers invite, I don't actually play Call of Duty anymore, but I watch streamers, and I see them invite people onto their streams and just get their butts kicked. And I will say that is one of the most hilarious moments in any stream. There we go. That must have been what you were talking about. Apologies that I thought you were sassing me. Although I would still appreciate this ass, given that. Interesting. So this is a lot like Captain Toad, and I don't have a lot of thoughts on Captain Toad because I haven't played it, but I don't understand how they could turn that minigame into a full game. It didn't seem like there was enough unique there to do so, but apparently some of the later things get very interesting. Granted, sometimes I look at Mario games like that, and I think, if this was any other game, could they have gotten away with it? Okay, R1 to throw at that. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so this is getting a little bit more involved, and I'm sure that's what the full game did, but I suppose I would have to actually play the game to see. I do prefer platformers generally. One of my favorite puzzle games of all time that I hope... Actually, well, after this I'm going to search that because it's my stream and I can do what I want. But I want to see if anybody's made a clone of Mercury from... I think it was originally on maybe the PlayStation 2, but the first time I played it was on PSP because it was one of the launch titles for that. That or it came out very early on. And I loved that puzzle game. That's the only puzzle game that I've actually... Like, I mean, other than like Tetris and stuff, that I've really, really played, and I wouldn't consider myself necessarily good at it, but I definitely played enough to where I felt like I felt like I was kind of getting the hang of it. And I did beat I beat the second one for I think PS Vita, because yes, I had a PS Vita for a hot sec there. But that's definitely one of my favorite puzzle games. Let me know if you guys have any ones that you've seen in Dreams or that you've played in general that you particularly like. Because although I'm not crazy about remakes, I don't mind playing them on stream because it's always interesting to see how well they did. What was that second menu? I completely ignored that. But for now, let's play Sans Commits Tax Fraud because I said I'd take recommendations, and we're here. And I hope this is cute, but I would love to imagine a world where tax fraud is cute. But I can't seem to find that. Oh, it's tagged platform. Let me take that off. So, take off all the tags. Sans commits tax fraud. Let's try one more time. If you want to post the PSN of it, that could help too. Generally, that's how I've found things. But I do realize that. So I don't talk about this in videos, but I will talk about it here. I actually applied to Media Molecule as a data analyst because that's what I do full time for my big boy job, and can't find this at the moment. I might need some more information on where it would be at. But maybe it's just searching that. Maybe I was in the wrong. Let's try again. I'll tell that story once we actually get into a game because, it's a doozy. And spoiler alert, I almost got hired. Oh, that's Sans. What is he from? I see that all over the place. But maybe it's written wrong. Never mind. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just go to Sans Commits because that showed up with something, and I'm definitely going to watch this. I totally forgot what character you were talking about, by the way. Did you enjoy that? Will you give it a thumbs up? I don't know if enjoy is the right word, but I'm glad I played it. Weird. Okay, well, that was horrifying. It's from Undertale, yeah, that's what it is. I actually never beat Undertale because I was trying to do the totally don't kill anything playthrough, which I think is how most people play that game the first time. Loved it. Just never got around to finishing it. Alright, so no luck there, but let's go back and see if we can find anything in the general search for cute things. My cute character horror. Why is everything horror? Why is it all horror? The best saga is Swamp Invasion. Let me check that out after a few more of these, because I have a story to tell. I want you to make me the cutest characters you can, so... Oh, that's... Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so they're gonna make cute characters terrifying. Is that a knife in its head? Can I get demonetized for that? Not that I monetized in the first place, but, like... We'll see. Now this looks pretty adorable. Oh, nope. Nope, Five Nights at Freddy's. Nope, definitely not. Let's refine this to platformers if we can. Tags. Oh wait, there's a tag for it. Cool. So, let's just do cute, and then we'll actually add on to it platformer for now. And cute fat fox. Definitely up my alley. Yeah, so story time, I guess. Impromptu story time. I might end up putting this into a video, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. This is actually a great play on the ball rolling games from others, but it's kind of awkward to control. So yeah, story time. I was actually applying to Media Molecule as a data analyst, because that is what I do for my job, and I thought, why not? They have a position open. I've never seen a position like this at Media Molecule, and of course they're a great company to work for, and obviously I've been following them for a while since Little Big Planet came out, played through Tearaway, all their games. And so I applied, I waited a few weeks, didn't hear anything, and then I decided to do something silly because my mother has had a great influence on me to kind of toe the line of what makes sense in a professional setting, and given that, let's head on through here, and given that Media Molecule is kind of kitschy and silly, I thought they would appreciate this, and so, oh interesting, you can triple jump, and so I applied and sent a flowchart on why they should hire me, a few weeks later when I didn't hear anything, and that flowchart was not seen by anybody, except for one of them. But I'd already gotten an interview, they just hadn't told me yet. So, a few days later, they sent a note back and basically told me I was going to get an interview. And as I was interviewing, I asked at the very end of my first interview whether or not they'd seen my flowchart. And one guy had. And for reference, this interview, which was just a Skype interview, because obviously I don't live in the UK, I thought it was going to be one person, maybe like 15 minutes to see that I was not crazy, because that's normally what first interviews are. The issue was there were 5 people there. 5 people? Yeah, 4 people on screen, 1 person just off screen. I had just woken up, and they hadn't been responding to my email, so I was a little bit worried that they wouldn't give me a time for it, or a Skype link or anything like that. Luckily, they did. At 7 a.m. my time. And so, I just barely make it to this interview, which is so many more people than I expected. And not only that, but it goes really well, and only 1 person actually saw my flowchart, but instead they were just kind of taking a little bit to get back to me, which was fine. But they end up scheduling a second interview for me very shortly afterwards. Because, okay, I'm actually not going to be able to focus on this game while I'm playing it, but that's really adorable. I love the jumping and the character design, because the jumping is very bouncy, plays really well with the character. So, I get the second interview, and it's quite frightening, but I managed to make it in, and it goes not as well, but still pretty well. And the reason they wanted to do it so soon is because they wanted the current data guy that was working on all that sort of thing to be there to basically interview me as well. It still goes well, but not quite as well, because they were asking me some really tough questions, and I was scared. I can't say shitless on this, but that. Luckily, it went well enough for them to basically tell me it went well at the end of the interview, and following that, I didn't hear from them for a while. And so a few weeks later, and this is the beginning of December, I finally do... Oh, this is really cool. Oh, that's pretty cute. I would say this qualifies. I like that they put the imp right there. But a few weeks later, I hear from them, and they mention that they can't hire me because I'm international. And I get that. Issue is, during my first interview, that was one of my 2 questions. And that second question was, is it going to impact my ability to work here or to get a job here if I'm not in the UK? And they said no. I'm not hating on them, it's not their fault, I'm sure it was somebody else, because Dreams hadn't been announced for a release date yet. And so, how do I switch to mode? Release info R2, okay. And so, Oh wait, why can't I do that? There you go. And so, that was basically it. What made it a little bit more horrifying was that the morning of this final email that I got that basically said, you're not, like, we can't have you work here, started off with a wonderful, very long paragraph about all the things they liked about me for an interview. Oh, that's cute. It looks like a, not a Polly Pocket, a Tamagotchi. So I got that and read this first paragraph, so excited that maybe, just maybe, I got a job, and I was going to move to England. But the second paragraph was, unfortunately, and for this sole reason only, according to the email, we need somebody that's ready to start immediately, and we can't guarantee your visa, and basically that was the issue, and that's why I couldn't work there. I was pretty devastated. But I was more devastated because it wasn't because I didn't do well in the interviews. I was pretty bothered by that. And of course, this isn't to say anything about Media Molecule poorly. I understand why, and although it's frustrating, I don't blame them. I don't know what these do. What do these do? But yeah, that's the story, and oh, how do I... Oh, there we go. That's cool. Yeah, so that's the story about how I applied and almost got a job at Media Molecule. Very unfortunate circumstances, but the good news is they said keep an eye out for any open positions, so hopefully sometime in the future, I'll not only be making videos about dreams, but I'll be able to help them out with their data a little bit and hopefully move the game forward significantly from where it is now in terms of data analytics, because let's say their search system is not my favorite. Interesting. So, completely aside from story time, this reminds me so much of, what is it? There's this one section where you're kind of pressing the different characters to be drawn to them. What is it called? There's a game that reminds me a lot of this. If anybody can remember it, please let me know. Gosh knows I can. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's not a big deal. If it sounded like I was just complaining about it, I'm not bitter in any way. I think I'm just like, so close. But hey, stuff happens. Things don't work out, and oh, did I stun it? Oh, that's cool. And the good news is, they were amazing about it. They were super nice. They did everything they could to show me that obviously they were impressed, and the issue was not that I was not qualified. The issue was that they just couldn't hire someone from out of country right now. Some sort of firewall. Anyways, back to dreams. This is absolutely one of the more impressive platformers I have played on this entire game. I don't know how I'm supposed to knock this out because I did not read that. Let's reread that. To save time, the Burning Mirror seems to be drawing power from two sources elsewhere in the valley. Okay, great. See if you can locate and disable them. That's easy to do. Let's go do that. And also, this character is adorable. I love that Imp is like his cursor and not just the player's cursor. I think that's very cute. Can I press that with him? I also love the idea of releasing Imp like that, so you don't have to worry about it flipping around the screen the whole time. It's very interesting. You can... Oh, wait! Okay, take it back. This is even cuter. Look. You can, like, poke him and he'll kind of react like he's being tickled or something. That's adorable! See, there is no shame in liking cute things. And that's why, hopefully, anybody that sees this stream will feel confident enough to play their cutesy dreams as much as they want. I do very much enjoy cute things, by the way. Where's the caps lock button? Did I accidentally turn that off? I think I turned that off. I think I should go turn that back on. Oof, that was close. I didn't think I could make that. So, yeah, the reason, again, if you are just joining, the reason I'm playing cute games today is because... Oops. It's because I feel like there's a lot of negativity going on right now in general. Everyone's a little worried, everyone's a little bit on edge, and so, as opposed to playing horror games or like really intense platformers like when I did, what was it called, Jump Souls, I thought I would play something a little bit cuter and a little bit more, we'll say innocent. Alright, where the heck is this caps lock key? I have to press it again. So far in this game, I've noticed that there's like Mario-level depth to some of these things, and one of the things that I loved most about the older Mario games was the ability to change the levels as you played through them. So like you would play through once and you wouldn't have the flying cap unlocked or something like that. And then when you would revisit those areas, there's so much more you can do. You could fly above everything you've been playing before. And I think that that's something I haven't seen in a platformer in a long time. That sort of like, I can't really call it Metroidvania style thing, because it's not exactly that. But it definitely has elements of you collect a power and move on to the next area, and are able to go back to previous areas with that power and kind of recollect things. And I love that idea, and I think that's something that really appeals to me in games like this. Oh, that was a really smooth load. Good job, dude. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so Last Survivor asked about the PlayStation and Xbox consoles, the new ones. So, I think everybody knows this, but if you don't, the Xbox Series X was announced and shown, and we're getting stats on it, and we're getting stats on the PlayStation 5 at the moment, and objectively, the Xbox is more powerful. And this is coming from someone that has had a PlayStation for the last 2 generations and much preferred that to the Xbox. I have had the Xboxes as well. There should be, there should be something here that indicates that this platform is different than the others and that it moves differently than the others, because without that, you're just kind of left to react. And I could see someone seeing that and thinking it's going to fall as opposed to move like that, but you know what, maybe it is different enough? Yeah, you know what, I take that back, it is different enough. To these to be considered a different sort of platform and indicate that it's going to be different. But back to Xbox Series X and PlayStation. So, objectively, and this is not something you can argue with because it's just true, the Xbox Series X is more powerful. Unfortunately for PlayStation fanboys, it has more power, and it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. In fact, quite the opposite. This is going to kill me. Oh, no, it didn't. I am still going to go with the PS5 just because I know that there are going to be more exclusives on that. I know the next Last of Us game is going to be on it, and I know that it's going to be backward compatible with all of the games that I actually play in terms of exclusive titles. I think eventually, if there are enough exclusive titles, I would consider getting the Series X, but it kind of depends on what you want. If you only play... Oh, crap. If you only play the games that are available on both consoles, I think... Can I interact with this? Oh my god! I'm sorry! Oh no! Oh, the bunnies forgot. I thought this was supposed to be a cute stream. Anyways, I was saying if you are a fanboy of one, you should probably just get that one. And if you don't really care either way, and you only play third-party titles that are going to be available on both, maybe go for the Xbox. But I still think the possibility that there will be some exclusives on PlayStation that you won't be able to get on Xbox may be a reason to go for the PlayStation. Again, I don't think there's going to be a big difference, but it's kind of up to interpretation. But yeah, I think for me, I'm going to get the PlayStation. Eventually I'll get the Xbox if there's something on it worth getting. I got this one for a lot of backwards compatibility and a lot of... Oh, and that's why he's turned off, I get it now. And a lot of kind of newer DLC games. Ori and the Blind Forest was a big push for that. Ooh, so I could probably push these back at those plugs, couldn't I? As was Cuphead, but now, I mean, Cuphead's coming to Switch, and I think it's already on Switch. I don't know if there's really a need to get an Xbox at this point, but it is going to be more powerful, so it's hard to judge at this point. But again, for me, I think that PlayStation has had a good reputation for getting more exclusive titles at this point, and that's more interesting to me than more power. It's not the case for everybody, and I acknowledge that, and that's totally fine. But it is for me. Ooh, I thought I could make it. Current games appear that the controller feels alright when you for the new Crash Bandicoot game. I did not know they were making a new Crash Bandicoot game. Are they? That would be amazing. I played what was it? The remake, essentially, because that was as big to me as a kid as Mario was. Hands down, I would buy a console to play Crash Bandicoot on if there was a sequel. And I think, again, going back to the PlayStation versus Xbox thing, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people will go for the PlayStation over it. But I'm a little bit worried that that appeal... Let's see. Give it a yank. Cool. That just hearing that the Xbox is more powerful will cause a lot of gamers to just be like, oh, well, gotta get that one, or the PlayStation's gonna go out of date. But is it really... Like, is that really what's important when it comes to a game console? Like, I have a computer that could play most of the games that are third-party, so, in essence, what is the point in getting a super powerful console that can also play those? And I know that's not the case for a lot of people, so... I don't know, it's complicated, and that's why we still talk about this. That's why there's no real solution yet, but... This is probably the longest I have played a level on stream, by the way. This is crazy. If you guys didn't see my previous video, I was gonna make a stream about it, but I wanted to edit the craziness together, and eventually I just decided to talk about it as opposed to, oh cool. I like this. I'll tell you in a second why. But I decided to edit it into a voiceover video just because it seemed more interesting than I was giving it credit for. The fact that there were so many gnome levels in Dreams. What is going on here? Oh no! What did I tell you? Horror game. Nothing can just be cute. It always has to turn scary. This actually does remind me a lot of the debug moments in the story mode. Black and white, no music. Still cute. They made the trilogy, and then they leaked some... Ooh, that's why. Okay, so it does seem... I mean, that's why they did it. I think it's the same with Spyro. Can I do this? Let's see if I can grab that. That they're doing it to gauge interest in it, which is a huge issue, by the way. If you... I know that not everybody's thought about this, but let's see if I can grab this, actually. Oh, I can. That's cool, you can hold it still. But basically, locking players behind buying a remake of a game they've already played to assure that there will be a sequel, or to assure that there will be a reboot of the game, to me, is really messed up. And I think that most companies don't do it that way, and they actually need the money from this sort of thing to be able to afford to make a sequel. But I've seen things like, I mean, like the Kickstarter for the Wonderful 101. It just seems a little bit gross, you know? Don't get me wrong, still supported the heck out of that, and it was more of a pre-order because the game was pretty much done, but not super happy about how they handled that. Okay, where the heck is this plug going? Because it ain't up there. To test if they like it or not. You mean to test if people will still play Crash Bandicoot? Oof. Let's see. Is there anything over here? Am I just missing something? Maybe I'm missing something. Let's go back. Oof, almost didn't make that. like I said, this is probably one of the longest I've ever played one of these dreams, and I am mad about it. This is very, very impressive, especially given the time restraints. What's that? Bam. That's really satisfying. Yeah. I think that going back to play those games, there's clearly still a market for it, and being that everybody kind of plays off nostalgia these days, duh. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna get up there. Oh, that's what's supposed to happen. Got it. See, don't love that in game design. Basically having to fail to see something. Oh, I thought the bunnies forgot. Oh, they didn't forget. Oh, they didn't forget. Well, it's not a horror game. Terrifying, not a horror game. Is he? He'll eat you, but he'll feel bad about it afterwards. Delightful. Why does this computer feel like it's turning into GLaDOS from Portal? Oh my god. Oh, wait. Is he supposed to eat me? So I'm a dungeon master, and one of the things that happens whenever... Oh no. Oh, cool. And then he chomps. Oh, interesting. That's a really, really interesting mechanic. I love the idea of an enemy serving as a platforming segment in a platformer. It just makes sense. It stops the disconnect between some platformers and their combat. This looks safe. This looks really safe. Nope. Definitely not going to worry about that. There we go. Let's see. If you can get Long Dave over here, maybe he can give you a lift. Interesting. So who is the... Who is that supposed to be? Is this supposed to be a creepy computer girl? Like GLaDOS? Oh, that looks like a hole. Let's see. Oh my god. There we go. See, this is exactly how you do it. Introduce a mechanic like this worm. Add on to it by causing the character to have to basically kite this enemy around. Oh, he hit something. Without him hitting something. That's so interesting! As opposed to just adding an enemy here and not doing anything with it. That's so cool, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him through here. Oh, yep, I did. Wow. This is super unique. So cool. So cool. I don't even mind that I'm playing through so much of this. I do hope that there's more levels after this, because I don't like to give away an entire game during stream. But I guess we'll find out. Give it a tug. Alright, let's go. Hold that one. Oof. Disabled. Let's get the heck out of here before everything falls to words that I can't say on stream. Oh! Nailed it. It wasn't, so... It was a remake. I don't think that counts as a reboot, does it? Regardless, I would love to see a new Crash Bandicoot game. I'd love to see a new Spyro game. I'm a little bit worried that the companies that make these remakes and sequels will end up working on this new game as opposed to the original creators. But hey, we can hope. It's always interesting to see a new company take on a game. I think Scott the Woz actually did a video on this recently. For example, like 343 Industries took over Halo. I know that Media Molecule handed off Little Big Planet to Sumo Digital, and a lot of the times too much changes to make the game like more modern and to make the game suit the new studio. But I don't know. I feel like I think of Halo as the example because I know that Halo 4 was just so different than Halo 3 and all the previous ones. But at that point, in my opinion, the games were getting kind of stale. The thing is, I didn't really mind that. I kind of enjoyed the like new story, same idea sort of thing with a few new introductions, but I don't know how long that could have kept people buying those games. Granted, it did stop me from buying Halo 5, because Halo 4 wasn't great, and Halo 5 didn't have split-screen multiplayer, but yeah, I don't know. I think it really does depend on the studio, but the issue is I can't really think of a time when a studio has really done justice to a game like that, that they've taken over, except for maybe Little Big Planet 3. Again, personal opinion, because I know a lot of people have really strong negative feelings about that, but I think they did a good job. I think I also just reset myself to the beginning of this level, didn't I? Did I? How do I get back up from here? I guess we're gonna find out. Let's sneak around here. There we go. The camera angles in this are very impressive, by the way. It's one of the hardest things to get as a during game design, and it's also, how do I put this? It's one of the easiest things to do. It's one of the easiest things to implement in terms of you don't need a whole lot of technical knowledge to do, but it takes a crap ton of... Oh, can I not get back up there? It takes a crap ton of refining and practice to get the camera angles right, even if you may be able to place these cameras immediately into a game. It really does take a lot of refinement to get them correct. I mean, think about how many games were just hated on by the entire community. Oh, that's so cool! Look how cute that is. I was saying, think about how many games are hated on by the entire community because they, Okay, he only dances when you press the button. Because, for example, they weren't faithful to the source material, or just strayed too far. Does that not look like the Monster Energy symbol? See, I heard that from so many people. I never had any problems with that. That's what really, like, worries me, is that I can't give a full... So, like, my first video on this channel, if you look back, was about how, essentially, everyone was hating on Little Big Planet 3 for issues that I wasn't running into, and that didn't really take into account the entire game. Like, the review on IGN was a terrible review. Objectively, a very... Not in the sense that it was like the reviewer did a bad job on it. This is actually pretty tough. But in the sense that they didn't cover any of the online segments and rated it entirely based on the story mode and the glitches that were available on the time. And don't get me wrong, they were there. I mentioned this in my review, I'll mention it again now. Absolutely, the game was a glitchy mess when it came out. And apparently the online services didn't do great either. I didn't play with friends until quite later on in the game. Actually, you know what? Why am I not just leaving caps lock off in this game? But the cool thing about it was all of the new tools, and I know that a lot of Little Big Planet creators, kind of like people think within Dreams, that it just there were too many options, and that made things more difficult, kind of less user-friendly at the time. And I totally understand that criticism of the game. I mean, I understand that criticism of Dreams in general, too. I can't get up there, can I? Nope. But at the time, I just think that the reviews for it were way overblown in terms of glitches, and also, the big thing is those glitches were fixed, and people don't seem to realize that. And that frustrates me, because it was just kind of written off as a glitchy mess with no fix, but then I realize it's been a while, and maybe it's too late for a lot of people. But it runs fine now. It ran fine 2 years ago. And you know what? Maybe that shouldn't be taken into account. The game should be better on release. I agree that. It should be. But to me, there is something to say about how a developer reacts to that. And given that Media Molecule had given it off to Sumo, I think that also gave people a bit of a bad feeling about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people share your, Oh, does that not work anymore? No, it does not. I think a lot of people share your opinions, and this is a very interesting use of this caps lock mechanic. And I don't blame you for having them. I still enjoyed the heck out of the game, though, so that's where I'm coming from. I mean, obviously, you've seen... if you look at my channel, you can see how many videos I posted on it. It does bring up the question, like, how much does it matter that a game got better if it lost a lot of its player base before it did? This is gonna... yeah, there we go. Ooh, where is that platform? There we go.
I need to focus on this.
Yeah, so I think that's a whole nother topic in terms of how the community treated Little Big Planet. And perhaps they could have done more to curate the community in that way. I don't know. It's hard to say. Nice. Checkpoint. Side note, once I finish this section of the level, I'm probably going to switch to the next game because I don't like to complete entire sections of a game, let alone the entire game, during a stream. But if you have joined since we started here, basically this entire stream is devoted to cute dreams. And so if you have any recommendations surrounding that, please let me know. Otherwise, I will continue... Oh, I exploded. I will continue to play through the queue that I pulled up myself. Alright, so let's get over to this side and play this carefully. Oh, bam. Come on, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Yes! Booyah. Alright, let's see if there's a checkpoint. I will say the transitions in this game have been shockingly accurate. Like right here, for example. Oh, this is going to be a runaway segment, isn't it? And there is, see, in my create things, I talk a lot about... oh crap, about reusing assets. And this worm has been used in 3 different incredibly unique ways. It's just so cool. And also, it means they don't have to sculpt 10 different worms, 10 different enemies. Just one has made this wildly more interesting. Ah, crap. I disagree that the game is dead. I think that if you check on just about any point, there are... I mean, during like a weekday, the middle of the day, maybe it's only a couple hundred. I still play it. I think that, so, this is something I haven't been asked a lot, but something that I like to think about. I'm just not going to go for that next time, because we need to finish this up, but I think that games like Little Big Planet do suffer from an issue that after a few years people will stop playing them, and then the content stops coming to some extent. But there will always be a tool there that did things that, for example, Dreams didn't, and it's not, well, I guess it's not that it did things that Dreams didn't, it just appeals to a different sort of audience. Because Dreams, I think, as a player and as a creator, has so much more potential than Little Big Planet did. This is super cute. But it also doesn't... how do I put this? It doesn't appeal to the casual gamer as much as Little Big Planet did, because it's not close to as easy or simple to create a simple level and feel like you've actually made it yourself. You have to learn a little bit, you have to know... That was amazing, by the way. You have to know what you're doing to find the community assets, and luckily the tutorials have done a good job of that. But it's a lot harder to just spit out a level within a few hours when compared to Little Big Planet. It's still possible, and I did that on a previous stream, but it's definitely more difficult. This is super cute. Aww. So whereas the previous one felt super tight in the controls and stuff, this actually feels very floaty, and I think that a lot of creatures that have been created in Dreams have run into the same issues, where it just feels a little too floaty, a little too laggy on the controls to really enjoy. Adorable, but I'm not going to keep playing that one for now. Yeah. For record, when I lean over there, that's because I have chat right here, because I don't like to put it on screen. Partially in case anyone says anything super offensive, but also because I may end up making this, using this footage in a video in the future. Aww. See, it doesn't have to be super complex. Like, this just looks like... It looks like toys. And it's so cute. Ooh, I do love that you can use the D-pad. That's what I wonder, on some of, like, even modern games these days, why can't you use both? Like, why is it absolutely required that you use control stick or D-pad? I like this. I like this a lot. Oof. My hat is digging into my forehead. We'll see if there's more complexity to this than something simple. But I also think, like, does Dreams appeal to kids these days? Like, you know how YouTube's... press circle to drop down, got it. You know how these days YouTube has a huge section for kids, and how they'll end up on autoplay segments. I mean, that's why the whole Elsagate thing happened. But wouldn't it be awesome to just be able to sit your kid in front of a game like this and just basically allow them to play infinite games as much as they wanted to? I think that definitely has potential. The issue is that Dreams obviously is rated, I think 12 plus and T in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong. So perhaps... Oh, I should have done that. So perhaps they could end up running into some not great dreams. But I do wonder if that is something that they think about at Media Molecule, and perhaps they'll end up adding a kids mode at some point, which actually would be really great. Because obviously this channel is not for kids. I mean, I almost curse in every other sentence, and we end up looking at all of the most terrifying dreams by mistake nearly every stream. Which I thought was what that last one was turning into. Thank goodness it's not. But like, something like this is perfect for a kid to play, and it's not to say that it's not really impressive, and it's not to say that the creator didn't spend a lot of time on it because it appeals to kids. It's just simple, pretty, and adorable. You know, that's how I would describe Mario and Sonic as well, so I suppose it's not super different. But a lot of these simpler games, I think, would be incredibly appealing to kids, and I do hope that parents can see this as that. I just feel like a lot of people don't realize the potential of this game. I mean, Protogenesis talks about it all the time. Oh, Mario reference. Heck yeah. And a lot of people just don't know what Dreams is still, which is frustrating. Hope that some people that end up liking a game or two on Dreams and find them on Reddit or something like that will end up getting this game, but I guess we'll see. Ooh, interesting. So this isn't actually 2D. This is a full 3D plaza. I wonder if that's the case in the main game, too. Oh, we've been going for 2:10? Okay, cool. So I think today we're going to stream till about 3. We'll see if I'm in the middle of something then. I'll keep going, but that's the plan for right now. And again, if you do have any recommendations, please let me know. Forgot I could actually kill us with fire. This actually reminds me a lot of Yoshi's Crafted Crafted World? Yeah, not Yarny or Woolly Adventure, Crafted World. And also, this is super Little Big Planet. Just saying. Actually, that's something I haven't talked about on stream in a while. So, I have obviously been playing Media Molecule games for a while. I loved Little Big Planet 1 when it first came out, because everybody saw it as this, like, mind-blowing thing. I think the difference is... Oh, these are kind of creepy. Back then, a game like that would be pushed by what was essentially like video game mass media at the time. I don't want to get too into that sort of thing because that's too technical for a simple game stream. But I think it's interesting because places like XPlay and Game Informer and IGN were able to push games like Little Big Planet so they would perform well because they were able to release these huge articles or huge reviews or huge previews in the case of those shows that showed the potential of these games and kind of explained to them what people were. And I think that's how a lot of people found out about Little Big Planet. I think that's how a lot of people found out about Dreams, even through Game Informer's huge issue on it. And when they talked about Dreams at E3, when they basically ran the E3 conference for Sony last year, 2 years ago. Last year? I think it was last year. It may have been 2 years ago. But those sorts of things don't really happen anymore. I mean, sure, the E3 appearance happened, and IGN has been talking about Dreams a lot and kind of showing it off, but because a lot of people go more towards social media for this sort of thing, and they did then too, but even more so now, and don't really trust these big companies with their games, I feel like when something like this comes out, there's no one to really get the message out. Why can't I? Oh, because he has horns. To get the message out about how creative this game is and the potential it has, and to explain to people that don't know what it is, what it is. And lacking that, we get the YouTubers like me and like Project Genesis and a lot of other people on here that are talking about Dreams, but I feel like a lot of the people that find us because we talk about Dreams, not because it's just a game. And so that's why me and other creators get really excited when other media outlets talk about Dreams, not because we want subscribers. That's not the case at all. The reason that I have this channel is because I want Dreams to do well, and because I want Little Big Planet to do well, and because I want a community to form around these games. We'll see if this is worth it being a remake. I want a community to form around this game so we can talk about it and tell our friends about it. Unfortunately, that's not as effective as XPlay giving a preview of Little Big Planet in 2008, in 2007, and I don't think I'm going to play this one right now. No offense, I just don't love playing remakes on stream. Oh, this is going to be a Flappy Bird. This is going to make me mad. And unfortunately, that's just kind of what we got to deal with. And hopefully, some of the bigger channels... I know PewDiePie played some Dreams a little bit, but some of the bigger channels can talk about this game because, I mean, as a content creator myself, I can see that selfishly it is worth it for a content creator to talk about this because the game is essentially endless. There's always new things to do, and it can be very memey. I mean, look at what I'm playing right now. It's a Flappy Bird clone with chicken. That kind of looks like Minecraft. Great thumbnail right here. And also, I could keep dream surfing through random categories until I die. And obviously that's not what I like to do. I like to pick categories to talk about and give story time or talk about certain things during the games, as opposed to just place videos of these online, which I know is what some people like, and if that's what you like, the channel's probably not for you in that sense. But hopefully that incentivizes other content creators who don't just focus on Dreams to talk about Dreams. I don't know if that's going to allow us the same exposure that other sorts of mediums were able to give it in the past, but we'll see. On the other hand, the fact that XPlay isn't the only source, the fact that Game Informer isn't the only source for games like this, does strongly influence indie games. Or, I guess because they don't talk about the AAA games and review every Call of Duty with a 5 out of 5, other games like indie games are becoming more popular these days, and I think that's absolutely related to how people find games. Oh, this is the same chicken we were just playing with. Interesting. Why can't I move? Oh, there we go. So there's good and bad. I will always mix X-Play. Oh, that's cute. It's like Bomberman. But I will also say I've enjoyed Hollow Knight more than pretty much any other game in the past, I want to say, 2 or 3 years? Putting aside Little Big Planet and Dreams here. Okay, I can double jump, but how the heck am I supposed to get back up there? Did I already glitch the game? Oh, there we go. There we go. That was close. Interesting. Alright, so... Ooh. So that's, that actually reminds me, the explosion there, of something I wanted to talk about in last stream that I didn't get a chance to. So, one of the things that I saw that someone's been talking to me on Twitter about is the lack of destructive mechanics within Dreams. And they basically made a wish list of stuff that they wanted to put in Dreams, and I kind of responded to all of that. Might end up talking about the whole thing in a video, because there's a lot of very interesting suggestions, and kind of like a compilation of everything people have been asking for within Dreams. But one of the things they mentioned was destructible objects, and how, like that bench back there, you essentially have to make points that can be destructed to make, for example, the middle of a bench explode. You have to create a version of the bench that has a hole in it, and that can be kind of tedious. And I agree with that. I think it absolutely can, and I would love for them to add some more user-friendly options to this, and I think that that's what we're going to see going forward in Dreams, is them focusing not so much on allowing the creator to do anything they want, because that's kind of already the case. With enough effort, you really can do anything. And I've been proven wrong a few times when I thought something was impossible, but I think that's a good thing. But hopefully making some of the things a little bit more user-friendly and a little bit easier for anybody to do, as opposed to just people that know the logic like the back of their hands. And obviously I do have significant experience with this logic in Dreams, and a lot of it is very similar to Little Big Planet, so it's hard for me to... to say what should be the next step, rather. But I do think that would... Media Molecule would benefit a lot from working on how the less experienced user creates within Dreams. Ooh. I love this section. This is super cute. Even the death animation for this is adorable. Just saying something. But yeah, if you are just joining, like I said before, feel free to suggest any sort of cute dreams you could think of. I do take off-topic suggestions, but if you can, try to keep it cute. You know what? After this, I do want to at least try one, like, cutesy horror game, so maybe we'll try to switch up the search terms a little bit, but... No promises there. Also, hopefully if you have been here before for one of my streams, you realize I normally stream on Thursday, because that's when I post videos. Luckily, I realized that I was streaming at the same time as Media Molecule quite regularly, and as to not step on their toes, or imply in any way that you should be watching my stream instead of theirs. Gosh darn it. Instead of theirs, I switched to Wednesday. But generally on this channel I do post videos Thursday and Saturday, and I post more than I stream, so if you're into that sort of thing, feel free to stick around. Oof. Okay. I had to focus for a second there. So a lot of, when I'm walking through levels like this, one of the things I look for is whether or not a general gamer could understand what they're supposed to do in a certain situation. I talked a little bit about this earlier, but in that situation where there's like a bench, obviously that... Oh, am I not supposed to go this way? Where there's a bench that has a hole in it, and you've seen it before, I don't think it's necessary to put the red X on it again. Just kind of, like, the player already knows what to do there, so you don't need to overtell players than to under-explain it, but, that's something I haven't talked about much, is the alternative which is just like, you don't need to explain everything. Oh, do I need to... Alright, I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do right now, so... Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think I'm just supposed to collect all 40. I think that's the end goal of this level. Interesting. So, something I've been seeing a lot in Dreams, actually, is the collecting challenges, and I think it's because they're easier to make than just a normal platformer level, and maybe give you a little bit more to do. But I don't love just the collect this amount of things in one level and then you finish it. I mean, that's the most basic challenge you could give somebody, and especially in a game like Dreams, when you run into 1,000 of them in a day. It's just not that hard to just change it around a little bit. So instead of, for example... Actually, I have to go back and get those things again. Instead of, for example, collecting 40 things in this level, it could have been a level you come back to collect 8 significant things, like in Super Mario 64. That's actually one of the reasons why I struggle with Mario Odyssey a little bit. I think, in general, fantastic game. But unless you want to collect all the moons, sometimes it's hard to qualify the super difficult to attain moons when you could instead just get all the ones that you have to dig up and you instantly get a moon. Just a weird thing I was thinking about. Let's see if that'll blow up. Alright, chat, let me know if I am missing anything, because yeah, actually I do that sometimes. I think this might just be the end of the level. But I'm going to stop it there so we don't get caught on something for too long, because gosh knows that's not fun to watch. See, like, look at this. There's another Gem Hunter one. Oh, this is a fun topic. Hold on. I'm going to need a sip of coffee for this. I'm going to fix my hat. So, Media Molecule got in some trouble recently by Nintendo. And if you didn't hear about this, oof. Oh, the drama. So, I'm gonna do this while I play a Mario Dream to prove how silly Nintendo is. Or maybe not, because this might be really loud. If the sound's super off and you can't hear me at all, let me know. But they removed the... Basically, they got a cease... this is far too loud and simple for me right now, but they contacted Media Molecule. Nintendo contacted Media Molecule and basically sent them the equivalent of a cease and desist. Because there were so many levels involving the Mario character. And actually, in one of my previous games, I mentioned how good it was and how impressed I was that they were able to make such a good clone of the Mario from Super Mario 64. If you couldn't tell, it's one of my favorite games from me mentioning it 3 times. Hopefully you can tell now. This is shockingly cute, but it looks a little bit like the sandbag from Super Smash Brothers. And it's not surprising. I think that most of us saw something like that coming, because Nintendo hates when other people use their characters and is widely known for sending cease and desist letters even to YouTubers for talking about Mario games. There we go. And I actually really like the controls. I never felt a platformer like this, if that makes sense. Oh. Yikes. And so, I mentioned this before Dreams even came out, that even before it was in early access, that was something we were going to have to deal with. The idea that we can't just copy other characters from other games because companies like Nintendo will be mad about it. Companies like Sega will be mad about it, although they seem less annoyed by it. It's something to think about when you're making games. It was just the first time that we'd actually seen a company basically act on that sort of annoyance. Let's see if I can make it over there. These are just pads to hit. Got it. I don't know if I can make it back there. So that was the drama surrounding that. I think the bigger thing was that Media Molecule actually contacted the creators of this to talk about how Nintendo had told them to take it down. which to me is very weird. That seems like something that Media Molecule should be dealing with, not the community. It's their platform. It's kind of up to them to remove the videos that, or the games that are going to get them in legal trouble. I think that it's very strange they contacted the creators about it. It makes me a little bit worried because what's the point? How do I put this? What's the point in having moderation if the creators still share the blame for doing something like that? But I also think that there was a little bit of shock in the community about it, and I think people may have been a little bit worried, and I just want to remind everybody that you're not going to get in legal trouble for doing something like that on Dreams. Media Molecule will. It's not your issue, especially because you're not making money off of it. But following that, and I mentioned this in a video recently, so I won't go too into depth about this, but Media Molecule has been talking. I'm struggling with this a little bit. It's not really something I can focus on because of the controls are very strange. Do like that though, very cute, very adorable. This looks sad, but let's play it. Something else they mentioned was that they're going to be testing how creators will monetize their content within Dreams.
Missing. Search the farm for him.
This looks like it's by the same creator that made Panda's Pot, and that was so cute.
Come on, Rosie, let's go.
So cute.
Go find biscuits.
Aww. Ask the piggies.
Hey piggies, have you seen biscuits? I saw biscuits playing the chickens.
This is so cute. I love this aesthetic, like the toy aesthetic. That's not where the chickens are. Where are the chickens? Ducks. Donkeys. Going back to what I was saying earlier, though, like, although I think this is adorable.
Hey chickens, I'm looking for biscuits. Have you seen him?
Imagine being a kid and hearing a voice actor that's your age.
The cow.
With just simple gameplay like this. That is
Hey cows, have you
mind-blowing
seen
to me.
biscuits?
I'm not saying we should market to kids here, I'm just saying that for parents that are looking for something that a kid could really enjoy. I think that this game is reaching that point, and will continue to
Hey donkey, have you seen biscuits?
push further into like
I
appealing to
think
kids.
I saw biscuits playing in the flowers.
So cute. Warning to my future children, I will absolutely use you for the cute points in something like this. And I think I'll be happy to have
Hey
that.
Mr. Alpaca, I'm looking for biscuits. I saw him trying to scare the scarecrow.
Look how cute that alpaca is. Let's see, was Scarecrow back here? No, it's not. Is that biscuits? That looks like biscuits. I'll be honest, I don't know what biscuits is. He's a dog. Again, if you are just joining here, I'm sorry if nobody's changed since I last said this.
Biscuits, yay, I found you.
Oh.
Please don't run away again.
I apologize that I keep saying this, but I am doing as cute of the dreams as I can find today. And so if you do have any cute recommendations, please let me know. Oh. That's so cute. Absolutely adorable. One of my favorite dreams. Let me follow that creator, that was great. Okay, I can't actually see if I'm gonna... I'll hit follow, I think I hit follow dream. I can't fully see behind that. Yes, adorable. But yeah, like I said, if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them either on YouTube or on Twitter. I think I've seen this character before. Ooh. And another collecting game. I think after this, probably going to avoid collecting games for a little bit, but the art in this game is super impressive, and so I'll stick to it at least for a couple minutes. But I'm not going to be really collecting everything, I'm just trying to explore what's going on here. See, this looks like it could have been a level, with some background elements here, this looks like it could have been a level created by Media Molecule. It's so impressive. I wonder if they use this fog to offload some of the stuff in the background so that you couldn't see the final parts of the level. Interesting. Alright, well, that is adorable. It's more just impressive. That looks kind of simple. How about this? Cookies the Bunny. Cookies the Bunny with heterochromia. Oh, it's a collecting game. Ooh. Ooh, but I like how this character controls. Whoa. Oh, that's cool. See, not the best way to explain that. I feel like this character is not the person that made this level is not the creator of this character. So I think there's a better way to explain that you can slide, jump, and float like that. Also that you can double jump. But I do really like how this character controls. I wonder, let's see. Let's look in the back. Oh, I can't. Darn, my face covers the bottom of it, but I'm going to now search for Cookies the Bunny, because I want to see. Let's forget I actually have my keyboard next. Cookies the Bunny. Looks like that's the only one, so maybe they did create this character. Huh. Well, absolutely love it. I want to see what they do with that character. For now, let's return to the other cute. Can I see not played? Oh yeah. Let's do. I guess we'll just leave it there. Oh, actually, let's tag puzzle now. You know what? Let's see if we can tag a puzzle game. I did mention, by the way, in a previous stream that I was going to do a cute stream. So if you have any recommendations for future streams like this, let me know. I tend to go over some keywords and search that way as opposed to search through the... Wow, this is really cute. Top 25% though. Don't normally play super popular games, but that's why I do this. That's why I use keywords, because I don't want to play all the games that everybody's already seen. I tend to look for hidden gems. I play some popular ones too, but that's definitely not the focus of my streams. One of the things that I'm noticing the more I play games like this is how little... Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! His fox friend. Aww. It's really cute and sad. One of the things I'm noticing is how, just like this, all of these assets I have seen before. These bushes on the side, I've used that fleck, I've seen the grass, I've seen grass exactly like this, but the feel of this forest here, and the feel of the house before, are so different because of how they're laid out. And that's why I think it's silly to think you have to make all of your own assets in every game you create, let alone in most games you create. I mean, even that coin I'd seen before, and it doesn't stop this game from being super unique. Because even, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've even seen that tree before. Oh, heavy weaponry, interesting. So I need a better weapon. Let's go find one. Can I go through here? Nope. I think I proved that in a stream a few weeks ago when I did talk about... Combat's a little bit weird in this. I proved that a few streams ago when I essentially made a level in an hour. that you don't need to create all your own assets, and you can use others to create something that's still incredibly unique in terms of feel. But I think that it does intimidate a lot of people that do feel like they need to make everything themselves. Alright, how do I get heavy weaponry? Well, we're going to find out. Or we're just going to thumbs up the level and move on, because this is supposed to be a puzzle game? I think I selected puzzles, right? Guess we'll find out. Let's see, what happens if we go back? Can we find a bigger weapon? Your health regenerates after a short period, you're not invincible. Interesting, so you can only see it from... That's it, torch. Oh, I love that. Hold L1 for torch. It's gonna make combat a little bit difficult in the dark, but... Oh, don't want to get killed. Oof. Yikes. Not my best moment. Alright, let's see if we can actually get some light over here. Ooh. Ooh, creepy. Huh, doesn't seem to be there. Where is this heavy weapon that you're talking about, game? What do you want from me? I've done so much for you already. Yeah, it's not true. I've been playing this game for 5 minutes. But I do enjoy the drama. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to find the bigger weapon, so, sorry, game. Thumbs up. Moving on. For the record, this isn't me saying that that game, at any point, was not good. It was very impressive, as I said from the beginning. I just don't have all the time during streams to spend 10 minutes walking around aimlessly trying to figure something out, which is far more due to my own intelligence than the game itself. Saying. You want to talk about vibe checks? That right there. Look at the arms. Word. Let's go. I wonder what the gift is. Ooh. Ooh. It's a boss. Alright, we've been doing a lot of platforming. Let's do a boss. Let's jump right into the boss with absolutely no idea how to play the game, because that's always a great idea. That's it. Okay. Well, I figured out how to fight the boss. You gotta blow its... Oh, things toward it. I made a tough boss. I'm assuming it's gonna shoot something out of its mouth at some point. Oh, this is a clone of Connie. Interesting. Oh. She ate me. Alright. Now it's gonna open, and I'm gonna run up. Oh, or it's gonna chomp. Let's see. Oh dear. Alright, we'll give it 2 more tries. Let's see what happens. Oof. I've been playing a lot of Hollow Knight recently, as I've mentioned in previous streams. There we go. That is what you're supposed to do. And so, I'm used to this sort of pattern boss fighting. It's cool that it launches you out of there when you're done. Actually, a very interesting boss fight. Oof. Who would have thought a silly platformer with the clone of Connie would have a phased boss fight? With weak points, attack times, and learnable patterns. Ooh, there was a little bit of delay there, though. Is it a friend? Did we make? I think we made a new friend. That's all you can ask for in a cute stream, isn't it? Apologies, I'm not dressed more cutesy. I have on a random shirt. Oh, there's a Twitter. Okay, I need to not screenshot that because that's how we ended the stream early last time, by the way. But I'll just follow the creation here. That was really cool. Let's actually quickly check out what one of the other levels is like. Let's see if we can. Floating island stuff over there. I know this isn't generally how you're supposed to go through levels through the map like that, because they spent so much time making the UI. But let's check it out. Let's see what the actual thing is supposed to be. Oh, can I hide in this tree? Oh, let's just show or hide that. Got it. Interesting, so you can jump in the platforming segments, but not during the boss battle. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, but you can't charge here. Weird. See, instead of taking the character they had and making a boss fight that suits that character, they changed the character for boss fights? Interesting concept. Initially, I don't like that because I think that boss fights should be and essentially be a place for you to really challenge the skills that you've learned throughout playing the game so far. The fact that it's completely different, that I can't even charge here, and that you can't jump during the boss fight, it's a little strange. But I know other games, I mean, No More Heroes does that. A big part of the levels are completely different than the final boss battle. I think the thing is that it's separated into different characters when you're collecting money versus fighting bosses, and that's why it makes sense that the gameplay is varied. Whereas the gameplay there, it's kind of weird that it switches out of nowhere between the boss fight and the rest of the game. Wow, a Yarny game. I posted a video talking about how Yarny looks very similar to Little Big Planet in some ways. Spoiler alert, the conclusion was obviously that it was its own game, and I loved it regardless. I even bought the second one, but I did want to start some controversy over that because it was fun, and because I was younger. But ooh, Hush Lake, that's pretty. Lava Run. See, none of these are really cute. That's cute, but let's see. Tilt Shift. That sounds puzzly. Oh, I did want to look up a Mercury clone. Oh, that's loud. Let's see if I can. Audio. Music volume, let's turn that down to like maybe a 5. Sound effect volume will turn down to an 8. Leave that like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, but you can't fall over, that's it. Okay. This is very impressive. Or I guess hit things too hard? It doesn't super feel like I'm pressing 8 buttons at once, which kind of feels like could happen in a game like this. Oof. This is tough. It doesn't feel unfair though, at least so far. Sneak over here. Oh, so close. Okay, so now scoot that way. Hit it again. Scoot that this way. Bam! Cool. This is a very interesting level. Wouldn't call it cute. I'm not sure why it's tagged cute, but maybe it's not. Is it? Like, where does the cute come from here? Cute. Yeah, it is tagged cute. Maybe it is cute. I don't know. Oh, wait. Was that... Was that what I just played? No, it wasn't. What the heck? Weird. Take on a sip of this before I fall asleep on stream. Again. Just kidding. Alright, let's check this one out. Again, if you are just joining, I am... Oh. See, not crazy about reusing assets that are that simple, like that score marker, because it's really easy to use the logic for that. Maybe that's actually something I should do a video on, because I'm sure a lot of people don't understand how to do that. And though I always preach reusing other people's assets, because that's what they're there for. People post assets because they want, like, that's what they're good at. And so game designers, they're people that like game design, that focus on collecting those assets into levels like this. Well, that's why people make them in the first place. Let's see if I can get across the time. Oh, no. Is there any other controls? Let's check. But, oh, I got caught in a restart loop, didn't I? I did. It's okay. It happens. But, like, so you can take the score, like those score pieces that we saw on the level earlier today, and you can use the logic from them in your own personal score pieces. And I think that's something that's really easy to change to give your level some personal feel to it. And it's also something that, unfortunately, when you do reuse something like that that people have seen before, it's going to be very obvious that it's been used from another person, as opposed to like terrain assets and stuff. Like, all of these terrain assets absolutely could be reused from somewhere else and would be pretty much unnoticeable, except for perhaps these crystals, which give this level its unique feel. But even just a step further, I actually think they may have done that by changing the color of these. But even just taking a step further to change them to a different shape or something while keeping the logic can really increase the personalization of your levels. For the reference, I don't I don't say this as in BSing everything. Oh, interesting. What is this? Oh, that'll open those, won't it? I'll have to go back and do that in a second. What I was saying is, I don't say this to BS everybody. I do work on a lot of my own levels. I just rarely do it on stream because it's very hard for me to focus while I'm creating at the same time. And if I may... Gosh darn it, this is another collection level. Oh, were those there a second ago? Oh, no, they were not. It is another collection level. I'm not going to complain too much about it because... Oh, I was actually going the wrong way. Because I think it's unique enough to warrant playing, but I suppose it wouldn't be too difficult to, instead of just being like, visit every part of my level and collect everything you see, to change this just to one with an ending to it. And perhaps alter it, like I said, to something like Super Mario 64, where there are some things that you have to collect, but you basically come back to different sections of the level to do that. Oh, wow. Is there really not a checkpoint in between here and there? Because that's kind of silly, right? Like, I know in some games that's the point, is to not put in too many checkpoints, like Super Meat Boy, so that you can get through something super quickly. Oh, there is a checkpoint here. Okay. So, one of the things that I used to do in Little Big Planet that may have helped here, I still think that there's nothing really wrong with this level at all, except for the fact that I'm kind of sick of collecting levels, and perhaps... Oh, this is very interesting. And perhaps instead of making a collecting level, like I said, they could make it a sort of... There is an end to the level, but one of the things that I would do in Little Big Planet when I struggled... When my friends would struggle playtesting my levels, because the checkpoints were too far apart or something like that, I would make sure that checkpoints that were there activated the second that someone would touch that platform. So they didn't necessarily have to run in front of the checkpoint to activate it, for the sole reason of, I know that sometimes you run a little bit too far, and because you made it over the obstacle finally, you shouldn't be punished for not knowing what comes next, I guess. And in general, I would try to avoid places like that where it would punish someone for not knowing what's next, so that anybody that played through my level with enough skill and focus could get through it in one shot without dying. But, okay, so it's an L and then 2 on the side. I have to go back and plug that into the calculator. Interesting concept. But even when you do that, sometimes things are just a little bit difficult. Instead of changing the entire game, you can change some simple things to keep your obstacle, the difficult obstacle that you enjoy, while kind of giving players a break for something that may get a little bit frustrating. Even if there's nothing necessarily wrong with the obstacle, even if it is just a difficult obstacle. It's one other way to just give the players a break from something that may eventually turn frustrating. I wonder if I'm trying to think if there's any other things I do when certain obstacles are just far too difficult. Oh, I love this. This reminds me of Crash Bandicoot 2. That's cool. I do wonder if there's anything specifically that... I'm trying to think. I guess generally if an obstacle is too tough, I'll only consider an obstacle too tough if it's frustrating. Like, if it's unclear, if it's just a really hard jump that could focus more on issues with the character that I'm creating. Okay, I need to redo this to open that section. That's just too difficult for the character that's in the game to actually complete those segments. I may change the obstacle up a little bit, move things closer, make it a little bit easier, because obviously if I do it 1,000 times, I can finish it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be fair to other people. So there's an L, there's a backwards upside down L on the top, and then 2 on the left. Let's change this. Is that what it was? No, that's not what it was. Oh, that is what it is. Whew. Otherwise, I mean, I never give, like, easy outs. One of the things I hated the most about Super Mario 3D World, and I love that game, by the way, I played through it with my boyfriend, but one of the things I hated the most about that game was the fact that if you died enough, you basically could get an invulnerability power to get through a level. And I get that that stops people from getting frustrated, but the whole point of game design is creating something that's difficult but not impossible, and creating something that, although it may take many tries, would never get frustrating. And to me, giving invulnerability to it ruins the sense of accomplishment that you get, especially when there's very little downtime to it. I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. Also, kind of unnecessary backtracking here, but hey. AAA games have done this in the past, I suppose you guys can too. And I'm sure I could as well, it's a little bit weird that we have to go all the way back to this. So it's 2 dots with 3 on the bottom. I think sometimes about, let's see if we can get a little bit further, I just want to make sure. 3 on the bottom, then top, middle, right, middle. Oh, thought that was going to change first. I think sometimes about games like Metroid, Super Metroid for the SNES, and original Metroid for the NES, and how these days I take pictures of the codes in those games. I need to make sure I hit that checkpoint again. I take pictures of the codes in those games so I remember them for when I play them again. But being that my childhood was not the NES or the Super Nintendo, it was the N64, I do wonder if how many kids literally took the time to scribble those down on a piece of paper in order to remember the codes. Okay, so that was 3 on the bottom. There we go. Ooh, interesting. I wonder what that is. You know what? I said that this is a collecting game, and that I was a little bothered by that because we played so many today. This is doing something for me. This is exciting me in a way that the other ones did not. You know what? Perhaps it was that backtracking. You know what? Maybe it wasn't such a bad idea after all. Maybe it gave me more of a sense of this world and allowed me to explore a little bit more. Who knows? Hey, I always enjoyed it in, there we go. Can I take it? Okay, I don't think I can take it. But I got all 45 out of 45, so let's go finish the level. And I also never claim to be the final authority on these things. Everything I say in this channel is, of course, my opinion, and taken from the experience that I have as an amateur game designer. Which is to say, a decent bit, but it's also the experience of an amateur game designer, not a big boy full-time job game designer, so. Although I do think that's something that my channel brings that's unique. That's why I continue to make videos here, even though I know that Project Genesis does some similar things that I do, and I only mentioned him because he's probably one of the only that I really watch constantly. Just because I talk so much about dreams, I don't need to... Oh, can I not finish this without all of those? I don't think I can. Well, we'll stop here, I think. And I can come back and finish that later. But I think one of the new things that I do bring to the table is talking during things like this about how a level does something, or whether or not certain choices are good ideas in levels. And generally they are. and when I have bad things to say about a level, it is few and far between, although I refuse to play another collecting level. It seems the entire cute community has taken those, ooh, see if this is cute, has taken those collectibles to absolutely the max, of which this looks like a collectible, so I guess we're going to find out. But collecting 5 things in a level is a little bit different than collecting 40 things in a level, you know? Oh, this is pretty. This qualifies cute? I think that kind of looks cute. That's pretty cute. Oh, it's a maze. Oof. I'm sorry to the creator of this, but I have vowed to not do maze levels like this on stream, because I know they can make people watching them quite nauseous, and so I'm going to avoid that one for now. Sorry, guys. And if the creator ever sees this, I sincerely apologize to you. This is cute. Another collecting game. But it's cute. I'll explore the level a little bit, but I probably won't. But see, this has the gems from the other level. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe maybe everybody's on the same page as me and loves reusing assets, and I support that. But not crazy about reusing the same point things because they're so easy to create. It's kind of like the oh, interesting. I talked a little bit about remakes in a game a while ago. It was probably my most controversial video, and how I think that people with very minimal effort could turn their remakes into full games that they would get full credit for, as opposed to just being qualified as a remake. And I think that in this case, with all, I don't think I can focus on that right now. In this case, with that's cute. With score bubbles, they're so easy to alter to make your own. Why wouldn't you? I spent at least 10 minutes talking about score bubbles. Thank you if you're still here. No, this is beautiful. Huh. Wow. Adorable. Check. Unique. Holy heck, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if the creator made all these assets themselves. Ooh, interesting. Square, 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 circle. I like this because it seems to have its own aesthetic, which obviously is impressive, and at the same time it doesn't shy away from the use of flex like I know other games do. Let's see, what's this do? Nothing. And I think I talked about in a video at some point how the flex in Dreams are one of the things that make it look like Dreams. They're one of the most how do I put this? Representative parts of its aesthetic, and how it's important that if you want to create something that's unique, you want to generally avoid using too many flex and maybe I need to use a power here. What are the powers? Interesting. But weirdly enough, this is a level kind of, I'm going to say it proves me wrong, but it is definitely another use of flex that very much does not feel like Dreams. It does not look like Dreams. It does use very sharp edges in certain areas, but let's see. Can I pick this up? Let's see if we can get past this initial section even. I did want to find puzzle games. Let's see, do you die when you fall into the water? Yep. That's a big ol' yes. There we go. Could use a bit more of an indication about what to do there, but that's okay. Air slam the other 2 stones, let's find them. Strange that the stones don't look different than anything else except for this marking on them. I guess in a puzzle game that kind of makes sense. Let's see. I think you figure it would be pretty obvious about where I'm going as opposed to just kind of searching around. There's only so much of that that's actually entertaining. Don't get me wrong, I'm still enjoying this. It's just a small, it's like a, how do I put this? It extends the game without really adding a whole lot to it. Not necessarily bad, not necessarily good, just, it is. Where's that last stone? Whew. Let's check over here. It's not over there. Is it in the middle? That looks promising. I think that didn't take long. Ooh, a portal. For science, of course. This is cute. Woohoo! Oh, magic. I love the aesthetic of those rocks. See, they could have taken those platforms directly from another level and you change one thing about it, changing those rocks to glow pink like that. And it shows the player that there's something different about these rocks, and there's a reason why they're floating, which is very interesting. Oof. These actually look a lot like the, Interesting. Ooh, those are a little slow turning. Let's find out if I can just keep going. Ah, no. Boo. No checkpoint up there, really? Rude. It's okay. I love, one of the things you can tell if a character is impressive is one, if they feel unique in dreams. But I think one of the hardest things to nail down is a good running speed that stops the player from feeling like they're waiting for the character to go somewhere and helps them get back to the obstacles if they fail, but doesn't feel too finicky when you're running through the obstacles themselves. It's why a lot of games do add a run feature, so that when you're going through obstacles and when you're doing puzzles, you can basically be careful and be refined, and when you're going through hard platforming segments, you can use the walking feature. It's actually one of the only things they changed about Super Mario 64 when they brought it to the DS, in addition to the 3 new characters and a ridiculous amount of new content, including 30 new stars. It's definitely one of the things they changed, though. Weird that those side platforms are there when there's no, doesn't seem to be any use for them, because you can just jump on to the next one. It's one of the things I'm frustrated with as a game designer sometimes, is there's like a path I'm trying to create that's like, oh, this is such a cool, interesting platforming segment, but then one of my friends will find a very easy way around it, and unfortunately, I'm incapable of altering it correctly. Weird. So the end of that level involves you jumping off the edge. Strange. Where are we at? We're at 3. Alright, so I think that we're going to end the stream here. Got quite a bit of games. Maybe we'll do one more as I outro this, because this is so darn adorable. But I think we're gonna end the stream here and move on to well, editing this video eventually. But what the heck is this? Can I shoot cats? Is that what's up here? I think so. Oh. Is this gonna be a tower defense game? Well, I don't know because I can't see the controls, but thank you so much for stopping by. I'm gonna end the stream here. Maybe keep playing this by myself, but thank you so much for joining, guys. Especially thanks to The Last Survivor for joining for so long and chatting with me a little bit. It's always a lot more fun to stream to chat with someone, but I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're doing okay during these crazy times. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I know it's crazy, and things are gonna be okay, but they're not right now, and that's kind of all we can do is try to be okay during these times, and hopefully distract ourselves enough with things like this. But stay inside if that's where the area you're at is dealing with this, and keep an eye on other people because they probably need a lot more help than gamers like us do in a time like this when everyone's stuck inside. But otherwise, take care. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next video, which will very likely be tomorrow, but if not that, Friday or Saturday. But have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon. And goodbye!